Hey, Rick Brandenburg for Outdoor Men and also Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll. And you know, people complain about regulations, people complain about our schools, they complain about our roads, they complain about a little bit of everything. I was looking through my desk here at the store and I found a letter that was sent out to all parents and students in 1968 when I was entering the 7th grade. I know that's hard to believe. You probably think it was more like 1986, but it was actually 1968. This was a letter sent out that gave regulations that everyone had to adhere to. It has things like haircuts. Your hair couldn't be touching your ears or the back of your collar. Not a problem for me anymore at all. Your jeans couldn't be tight. Well, that could be because you're just putting on a few pounds. But anyway, lots of dress code regulations, lots of regulations about comings and goings. One thing that was interesting, since I grew up in a farming community where everyone actually had to work when they were young, it says in here that if you have to stay home and work, that is an excused absence. Holy smokes, could we get by with that today? But lots of rules and regulations. One thing I find interesting is that it talks about students who are absent with unexcused absences, that the school district actually puts $152 per student per year. So the amount of money to educate a student per year was $152, which probably explains a lot about my current socioeconomic status. Now, rules and regulations and concerns of society. You know, we also had a concern when I was in middle school that we had to get under our desk and do nuclear attack drills because we thought Russia was going to drop an atomic bomb. I still don't know why they thought that climbing under your desk would protect you from a thermonuclear reaction and a disaster and obliteration of all of mankind, but we did that. So there were concerns at that time, such as attack by Russia with atomic bombs, that were on everyone's mind. In our culture today, we have new concerns, including those as they relate to turf grass, things like bee kills and Roundup and the damage that it's reported to do. So there's always been these concerns, and they change over time, and they will always change over time. We just had to learn to deal with them. And in the case of these concerns, we have to learn the factual information and relate it to the public, because even though it's much different than thinking about Nikita Khrushchev was going to drop nuclear bombs on us, it's still a concern that people say has some validity. So while we may not agree with it, people in society do, and they have their own rules. Like middle school in 1968, they have things that concern them and things that they have to address in their life so that they feel better. Nobody really cares about whether your hair is touching your ears anymore, but they do care about whether or not turf insecticides are responsible for bee kills and whether glyphosate or Roundup is going to give kids cancer. Even though we have a lot of information that says that's not true, we've got to convince the public, because those are real concerns they have. Talk with you again soon with the next rant.